Can you hear me?
A young boy lies in a deep sleep on a train that has long since been abandoned. Awakened by a gentle, warm voice calling out to him from beyond, a beautiful blue butterfly enters his heart, providing him the strength he needs to rise. Traveling out from this train with weapon of choice in hand, he sets off into the dark unknown, in a city on the brink of destruction.
This city is falling apart. Chaos, madness, death.
On a noble quest to save the city of Krat, to find his father and set things right, he'll need Jiminy to be his guiding light. But not anybody can do this. It takes a special boy, one neither human nor completely puppet, but both. You are this boy. You are Pinocchio, and you'll have to lie if you want to find the truth, or die trying. This is Lies of P, and it's amazing.
Your destiny.
Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I have spent the last few days playing Lies of P. I first discovered this game years ago, and I was immediately impressed by what I saw. In a world where Bloodborne has become one of the most iconic games of the PlayStation 4, with its unique atmosphere, art style, and direction, fans of the Souls-like genre have been begging for a sequel to this magnificent game. Imagine my surprise when Lies of P comes along to fill that void, like the blue fairy granting a wish. I've spent over 18 plus hours with this demo, exploring, fighting, dying, enjoying everything it has to offer. So today, I want to discuss this game in full detail of my experiences, what I liked, what I feel could use improvements, and what I'm most excited for in this game. So get ready to one-up your collection as we deep dive into Lies of P. So the first thing that I want to talk about is our main character, Pinocchio, who is referred to in the game as P. My boy is looking super fly for a puppet-like guy. I mean, this dude is swinging around massive P, if you know what I mean. He could get the ladies, he could get the fellas. If you thought Final Fantasy had a whole lot of man sex with its pretty boys, you better look out, Sephiroth and Cloud, because Pinocchio is dropping it like it's hot.
Oh God, it's so hot.
Brian, spit on me. Oh, that's nice. Now tell me I'm scum.
How will that cool you off?
I love the way they designed his face and eyes. He has little hints of freckles, the way his hair hangs in front of his face, the way he moves and controls along with his characteristics, how the clothes hang over his body. Everything just feels really nice. You really enjoy playing and looking at this character. But it's not just P. The other characters you meet, like Sophia, who acts as the blue fairy, is absolutely beautiful. Her lovely white dress, with her blue overcoat, the pretty butterfly pin, and her necklace matched by her gorgeous, beautiful blue hair. This girl could level me up any day.
I'm so happy to see you.
I'm already claiming her as waifu, and I look forward to seeing lots of lovely ladies cosplay as her. Geppetto has that classic gentleman style with his little top hat and monocle with well-dressed attire. Truly sophisticated looking man. You can feel his warmth and compassion. A wise and loving father.
You've returned. Forgive a sentimental father for worrying about his son. Always remember that you're precious to me.
This accompanied by well voice acted parts from talented actors and actresses really seals the deal. I'm unsure if the developers used any facial animation in order to make their characters like we see in a lot of AAA games today. But if they did make all the characters from scratch, then I'm impressed. Maybe I'm the minority when I say this, but I think it makes for a much better game. When they use facial animation, it can add to realism like we see in Call of Duty or sports titles, but at the same time, using real-world people always made it feel like less of a game and more of a movie. I'm always taken out of the experience when I see celebrities in my video games. No matter how much they try to make that person look like they fit into the game, it never does. So kudos on the devs for creating really beautiful character models that feel unique and that fit into the world. The environments are really creative. It definitely has that Bloodborne feel to it, but it goes so much deeper. Where Bloodborne was gothic art style and cosmic horror, this game has more emphasis on the Belle Époque era. Most would consider this steampunk, but it differs greatly. Taking place around 1871 to 1880, during the era of the Third French Republic, it was a period characterized by optimism, regional peace, economical prosperity, colonial expansion, and technological, scientific, and culture innovations. This is a time period that not many games, if any at all, have covered. The environments, building, scattered documents and news clippings, billboards and advertisements on display, along with the technological advancements within the levels, clothing, enemy designs. Wow! Bloodborne is here, but I don't think it's as strong as a comparison as people are making it out to be. There's more color to the world than in Bloodborne. It's not quite as bleak and hopeless as that game. If I had to compare this game to any, I would say it's more Bioshock-ish in its art style. I consider this game the world's very first #Bioborne. Seriously, people. Start sharing it everywhere. Let's get it trending. Now, I do have some issues with the environment. There was some low graphical land masses and rock formations, some pop-in as well as frame rate drops. There's lots of objects in the environment that seemed breakable or interactive that aren't, only to then come across breakable items that had nothing hidden underneath or lead to nowhere. There's also other little details that are lacking in the world. At an earlier point in the game, there's a bathroom stall that has an enemy hiding inside. When you enter this stall, there's mirrors, but they show no reflection of your character. A lot of games do this, and it always bothered me. It's not a huge deal, but I think it adds so much more to the game when you make those little touches. One thing I also felt was lacking in the demo was other side paths to take. There didn't seem to be much deviation or exploration down other paths. Maybe it gets more in depth as the game continues, but for these earlier sections, it would have been nice to have a little bit more to explore. I spent a lot of time hitting walls, checking corners that I thought would lead to a hidden path, but there was nothing. I'm unsure if there is invisible doors or walls in this game, but I really hope so. That's one of the staples that I loved about the first Dark Souls. Sadly, From Software took most of those out as the series went on. That said, this game does have its version of the Crystal Lizard in the form of a dimensional red butterfly. It will appear briefly in the environment. You have to chase it down and attack it to get a special item before they fade away. It was a pleasant surprise that I'm glad to see, so fingers crossed those hidden paths will show up in the full game. If the developers ever see this video, please make these improvements, and let the player interact more with the environment. It may sound nitpicky, but you worked hard making this beautiful world, so give people a reason to stop and just soak it all in. The game has stats like any other RPG, but it fails to explain what they all do. This is partly because they're not your normal name stats. You have things like capacity, mobility, and technique, nor is there any breakdown of them in the game's initial help guide. Most Souls games, where you're on your character stat screen, you can hit a specific button and it pulls up a menu and explains to you what all the stats do. But for Lies of P, I didn't see this option anywhere. This would be really helpful so when you level up, you know exactly what you're putting your points into. Based on the demo, we have no idea if there's going to be a respec option, so we'll have to wait until the full game release to find out. When it comes to the enemies, you'll of course be fighting hideous puppets of all different shapes and sizes. It makes me think of giant wooden toy soldiers or nutcrackers going crazy. Once again, I go back to the BioShock series as they weird machine contraptions and the big daddies that try to kill you are great examples of what to expect here. The way they move and traverse the environment is very robot-like. You hear the sound effects of their puppet parts moving, the clunkiness of their footsteps, the turning of gears and joints as they click into place. It gives an unsettling feeling when you're approached by them. You're unsure how they're going to react or how quickly they can move. The atmosphere is really well done. You can hear voices and animal cries, whispers in the wind, almost like something might jump out at you at any moment. Speaking of sound, of course, the music is gorgeous. My favorite tracks would have to be the Hub World theme, but later on, you do a side quest that gives you a record that you can play in the hub. The song you get is a vocal track that's absolutely breathtaking. It's simply titled Feel. After completing this specific side quest, receiving this as the reward only adds to the story of that quest. I won't give any spoilers, but it ends up really pulling on your heartstrings. No pun intended. Here's a sample of the song.
Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright, just dance with me all through the night, turn it out, close to you, I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you, give it to me baby.
Now, if that doesn't make you feel something, you very well may be a puppet. If they release a physical OST, I'm definitely picking it up. This song is so pretty. It has that Atlas quality that we've come to expect from vocal tracks. The kind of song you want to hear over and over again. Another thing I really like about this game is when you lose to a boss, your fallen experience is outside the boss tool, in the form of a glowing blue butterfly, the same butterfly that wakens you from your slumber at the beginning of the game. This is a great addition as you no longer feel pressured to panic run to the boss room, making mistakes and potentially losing it all. Now, some may say this makes a Souls game easier, but I disagree. The bosses are a fair challenge that did take me several tries before I got them down. And the last thing you need is to be distracted in a boss room trying to collect your soul currency. Speaking of the combat, it plays like your standard Souls. You have a light and heavy attack button, but there's some pretty neat stuff here that makes this game stand out. Being a puppet, you have something called a Legion arm. Unlike guns, bows, magic, and other ranged weapons, in this game, you equip different robotic puppet arms. Each arm has a different ability and stat scaling tied to them. In the demo, you can acquire 3. The first is a standard super strong melee punch. You later acquire one that allows you to send out a puppet wire string and pull enemies towards you for combos. Bye. This can also help with activating traps in the environment. At the end of the demo, you'll get one, as I like to say, Mega Man Shazam your enemies at close range. These special weapons would be considered your magic. In order to restore it, you'll be required to rest or use consumables. Now, there isn't a designated parry button in this game, but you do have a block. If you time the block just right, you can completely negate the damage. If you do enough damage to an enemy, you can have them enter a tired state. By using a heavy charge attack, you can put them in a dazed state for a finisher move. This game also has the Bloodborne health regen mechanic. As you're fighting and you get hit, you have the opportunity to restore a portion of your health. You also have weapons that come with unique abilities called Fable Arts. This is similar to Elden Ring. As you battle enemies, you will build up energy that you can use to unleash these special skills. Some are physical attacks, others are buffs, some let you negate damage completely, with so many more to discover. But this goes even a step further. In the demo, when you first meet Geppetto, you're given the ability to actually break down your weapons, separating the blade and the handles. By doing this, you're able to swap your weapon parts with each other. This means each weapon in the game is worthwhile to keep. Usually in From Software's Soul series, you'll find a particular weapon you like and stick with it. The rest you'll throw into your storage box and never touch again. But in this game, every single weapon you get becomes new parts for you to customize the perfect weapon. For example, let's say you get the Greatsword, a slow-swinging but powerful weapon, and you also have a rapier that's piercing, quick, but low damage. You can take the blade of the Greatsword and combine it with the handle of the rapier, and now you pretty much made Squall's Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII, jabbing and slashing enemies to bits. What's even better is the scaling and abilities that are part of the handle or the blade get brought over with the other part you comboed it with. This adds depth and a level of complexity into the game's RPG mechanics that we've never seen before. And I can't wait to collect every single weapon in the game to find the perfect combination for me. All in all, Lies of P has been a fantastic experience. I want to thank the developers for giving us all a truly beefy demo. Not a lot of publishers, developers, and license holders would be so generous in letting the community experience their title. I'm truly blown away by what I've seen in this demo. Did it! Even after completing it, I still have the desire to jump back to explore and kick major puppet ass. Everyone is foaming out the mouth for Final Fantasy XVI, calling it the game of the year. But Lies of P is a title you should not underestimate. I think it could very well be a contender. If you're a SoulsBorne fan, you don't want to sleep on this game. Get ready to lie or die when Lies of P releases on September 19th, 2023 for PlayStation, Xbox consoles, Windows, and Steam. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider joining the 1UP family. And let me know down below in the comments what you think of Lies of P. Until next time, happy gaming and collecting. Bye!
Close to you, I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you. Give it to me, baby. Feel alright, I feel good. Just want you to step with me, dance with me.